What's poppin', world? I hope all is well. Thanks for tuning in. If you like substance, go in and follow, go in and subscribe. You already know what to do. Let's get into this. Today, I want to talk about this whole gender war going on, right? I want to talk about the fact that women are creating groups, and this has probably been going on for years, but they're creating groups on social media, right? And I think it's called Are We Dating the Same Man? Are we dating the same person? Whatever the case may be. But the fact that women are creating these groups further proves that men are the prize, right? The fact that women are going beyond all measures to find Mr. Right proves that men are the prize. Even if we take a deep dive into the groups that these women are creating, right? In those groups, they are discussing men who are exercising their options, right? Let's just say. They're discussing men who are dealing with multiple women at a time. That in itself proves that men are the prize. Now, I advise for men to deal with one woman at a time and pour into her. But, the society puts men on a pedestal who can deal with or who has the option of dealing with multiple women at a time, right? Another thing women have to realize is this: men and women play a different game. We play a different game. Again, a man who's dealing with multiple or has the option of dealing with multiple women at a time, he's seen as a higher quality man. A woman who's dealing with multiple men at a time is seen as a hoe. Don't ever get that twisted. Now, if a woman has a gazillion options and she's only dealing with one man, there's nothing wrong with that, right? She's just a quality woman, right? So don't ever get that twisted. Another thing, there are a lot of women out there who feel like they have a lot of options, right? Oh, I got options. I can get a man anytime. I can do this. I can do that. Check this out. There's a difference between having options for sex and having options for marriage. Remember, just because you can get options for sex, that doesn't hold a lot of weight as a woman. Remember, men will just hit it and keep it moving with no problem, right? There are a lot of men who want to hit it and keep it moving. But the amount of men who want to marry you, that is what you should focus on as a woman. And another thing about it is this: if you are a woman who says, oh, I have options for marriage, the question is this: are those men who you have options for marriage with, are those men who you would also want to marry? In most cases, the answer is no. And let me say this as it just kind of hit me. Now, I'm saying that men are the prize. Now, ladies, do not get offended by that. There are a lot of great women out there. There are a lot of quality women out there. Some who are married and some who are still single, right? There's plenty of quality women out there. But on the grand scheme of things, right, or by and large, it is harder for a woman to retain a good man for marriage than it is for a man to retain a woman, right? A good quality woman for marriage. It is what it is, right? When I say prize, I'm basing it off of scarcity. I'm basing that off of availability, so on and so forth. I'm basing that off of what I'm seeing out here in the streets. There's a stat out that says that 90% of the single women are going after 20% of the men, right? 90% of the single women are going after 20% of the men. That furthermore, right, proves that men are the prize. Now, these groups that are being created, these women are coming together to try to figure out should they deal with a certain man or not because of, other women who also may be dealing with them, right? And I don't blame these women. I ain't mad at these women. But men, by and large, are not bonding together to try to find out if a woman is dealing with another man or this or that, or you messing with her too. So by and large, men are not doing that. There are men who are doing that, but a lot of men who have a certain level of wisdom, a certain level of expertise, a certain level of experience are able to tell after a short period of time what type of woman they are dealing with in regards to if she's too promiscuous or whatever the case may be. If she's dealt with a lot of guys, men with wisdom and experience can generally figure that out after dealing with a woman for a short period of time, right? They can figure that out. Now, in regards to the women out here, I would say that 20% of the women I would consider good women now. Some of these are married and some of them are single. About 20% I would consider as good women. About 60% I would put in that average category, meaning they have pros, they have cons, but they have just as many of both, right? And the men who deal with this 60% of the women are, in some cases stressed out. In some cases, or in a lot of cases, they're saying these women don't bring them peace, right? Consistently, right? These are those women in that average category, right? There aren't many things that separate these women, right? And then you have the bottom 20% of women who guys use for recreational use, right? Conversation, sex, things like that. They're not going to bond with them long term. That's that bottom 20%. But that 60%, that's like the average woman, right? You might find something out of this group. A lot of times you probably won't, right? And if you do, you're not going to really be fully satisfied with it, but you'll rock with it, right? Oh yeah, this cool. We all right. We can make something work. We can do life together. But that 20%, those are women who add value. Those are women who, again, they might have a flaw or a con here or there, but the value they add succeeds that by a long shot, right? By a long shot. It's not even close, right? Though that is how I would categorize the women in this day and age. If a man is intentional and he has his stuff together and he's looking up to par, he will not have a problem finding a woman or a wife to bond with and do life with if he is intentional and he has his stuff together. On the other end, you can have a woman who has her stuff together and she looks up to par, and it will still be a challenge for her to find a good quality man to bond with in the marriage, right? It's still going to be a challenge for her. A lot of times, the guy who she truly wants does not value her the same, right? He does not see her as special or whatever the case may be in a lot of cases, right? Now, there are a lot of women who found their mates, and a lot of women who are happily in relationships, happily married, and it's all good. I'm not talking to y'all, right? But what I'm trying to show you guys, I'm trying to break down as to why I would say men are the prize, right? And women are going beyond all measures to find this group of men, right? Or find their man, or find Mr. Right. They're doing whatever it takes to try to find him. And these groups that they're creating proves that, right? This proves that. There's no shortage of women lined up to bond with a lot of these athletes, a lot of celebrities, a lot of these artists. There's no shortage of women lined up, although they know that these guys are dealing with multiple women. It doesn't work the same way the other way around. If a woman is dealing with multiple women, if a woman is dealing with multiple men, they're going to classify her as a hoe, right? And they're not going to take her seriously. They will still bond with her. They will hang out. They will have sex. They will do those things. But a lot of times they will not bond with that woman long term, right? Men and women play a different game. Men and women play a different game. It is more likely for a man to have multiple girlfriends and multiple wives, and I'm talking about over a period of time, not at the same time, but it is more likely for him to have all these girlfriends, all these, or more than one wife, let's just say. Right? than it is for a woman to have a lot of boyfriends and multiple husbands, right? The man, he's going to have more of those experiences. He's going to have more of those options, especially if he's a man of a certain caliber. He's going to have more of those options. That's for a reason, right? Another thing, since the beginning of time, women have been known or elevated, for their purity, right? Their purity, right? The less men they deal with, the better, right? That's been since the beginning of time. A large reason as to why that is so that if a man, gets her pregnant, he knows that that's his baby, right? He doesn't have to worry, oh, is that somebody else's baby? Is it this, is that? He knows that's his baby because that's the only man who she's dealing with. That's the large reason as to why that is. But the thing about it is, in this day and age, most women don't operate that way. Most women have dealt with several men, and I'm not knocking them for that. I'm just putting the facts out there. A lot of these women in this day and age are more promiscuous, have dealt with more guys. So that's why the value of the woman has dropped, right? Once upon a time, a lot of people would agree that women or a woman was the prize, right? They would agree with, a lot of people would agree with that, right? But the tables have turned. Now that good man is more scarce, right? And there's a lot of women out here who fall in the same category, right? So things have changed. The tables have turned, right? And these groups that they're creating furthermore proves that, right? But that's all I got for this video. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, Spease the Beast. We're growing fast. I'm about to start putting some panels together. I'm going to start doing some lives. Tap in on the conversation. Join in, right? Come over here and join this tribe, right? I could be off on this. Teach me something. And remember this. Keep God first. I love you all. Be blessed.